The second section in your settings contains the notification center, the control center, and do not disturb. The notification center is where you can control those pop-up messages that appear on your iPad. Sometimes when you open an app for the first time, you'll get a pop-up that is asking you if this app can send you alerts or notifications, and you can either say yes or you can say no. If you accidentally say yes and then change your mind, the notification center is where you would go in and control all of those apps. So first of all, you can decide how you want to be able to access your notifications and what you want them to look like. So I'm going to go to my home screen for just a second and show you. To get your notifications, you would tap at the very top of the iPad screen on the black part and pull down. And when you pull down, you're going to see your notifications. These could include calendar events, messages from apps, new emails, etc. I'm going to swipe up to hide that, and I'm going to go back into settings, and you can decide what kind of view you want that to look like. You can also turn on and off all these other functionalities, and to see what they do, you can play with turning them on and off and then looking at your notifications. Underneath that, you're going to see the word include, and that means all of these apps are included in your notifications. So messages, I'm going to just tap on messages, and then you're going to have a variety of things you can decide about what you want these notifications to look like. So in each app, you can decide if you want to get notifications from that app or not. Underneath include is do not include. And do not include are the apps where you have said, no, I do not want messages or notifications from these apps. If I change my mind, I can go in and under alerts here, I can say show a notification center. If I want to take off any of these apps from the notification center, I would open it in Notification Center, under Include, I would tap on the app, go down to Alerts, and where it says Show in Notification Center, I would turn it off. And now I'm not going to get any messages from that app. I don't need messages from Netflix, so I'm going to go and turn that off. Okay? And that's notifications. The control center is actually not in your settings, but there are two things you can decide about your control center here on the screen. You can decide whether you want to be able to access the control center when your iPad is locked with your password, and whether you want to be able to access the control center when you're in an app. So what is the control center? Well, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to swipe up from the bottom of my screen, and there's my control center. It's basically a shortcut to different tasks that I can do on my iPad. Connected to this challenge is a poster that shows you what each of these does. So going back to settings, you can see then that these two options basically show us when we can access the control center and when we can't. I have it both turned on because I like to be able to pull up my control center anytime I want. And finally, do not disturb. The do not disturb turns off notifications. So for example, if you were teaching and you were using your iPad and you didn't want any pop-ups from Facebook or Twitter or new email message notifications, you could turn on do not disturb and it will not give you those notifications. You can schedule times, or you can do it manually just by tapping this to turn it on, and when you're done tapping it to turn it off.